You're live.
Oh, we're live.
Hey guys.
Let's see if people are figuring this out. Hey everybody, we've had a little bit of issues trying to get this working here. So thanks for waiting.
Thanks for your patience.
I'm here with John
Litwinski.
Litwinski,
like Monica, but with a T, extra T in there.
Is that a Polish?
It's a Polish name, yeah.
Nice.
Like Bill Clinton's ex, remember.
So I'm here with John Litwinski from Chicago Cone.
That's right. And very happy to be here.
We've been we've had a relationship now, but not like that.
Not like that, but
we've had a relationship for seven years.
Yeah, pretty much since we both started, about 7 years. Yeah, 2012 maybe.
Yeah.
Soon after we got going, soon after you guys got going, we got going together.
Yeah, that's why I like having you here, because I feel at home. I'm at home, but I also feel very comfortable because we're probably in a very similar boat here. So, but for those of you that are checking us out, this is Drinking Leather. Again, I'm with John from Chicago Come. We've got a crazy beer here that I think I scared John with. This is a Solemn Oath, which they are. I think they're like a local near Chicago.
Yeah, Chicago suburbs. I think Naperville says on there. Pretty strong beer. Looks like from the label.
Yeah, and we're gonna blow our faces off. 8.6%, which doesn't seem that much for a bourbon barrel aged
coconut Baltic porter.
I mean, it sounds good.
What is it?
That's what we're gonna find out. All right,
what's gonna pop out of the bottle?
So we've got this Solemn Oath. Coconut Baltic porter, or barrel-aged coconut Baltic. Wait,
that's my favorite type of beer. I drink
so many,
at least once a week.
There's so many nouns in this. Bourbon barrel-aged coconut Baltic porter. We're gonna crack that open. I have some housekeeping today. People have asked for an update on the Vibergs, the Shell Vibergs, which are here next to Larry David, and I also have an eBay purchase I want to share with you guys. But the big topic that we're going to try to cover in a little bit is picking leather and picking items, because I think leather is sort of this mystery thing that people don't really understand. And the big reason that we do these videos is to help everybody understand, to give you more insight to why each leather is a little different. Because I think, and even myself and probably everybody, before getting your hands on this and getting sort of deep into the leather world, everybody thinks leather is just sort of one thing. And we want to help people have enough information as possible to make an informed decision for when you're buying shoes, when you're buying wallets, when you're checking out these combs and comb sheets. So we're going to go through a little bit of how to pick leathers out. But first things first, hey, Ed and everybody else. Again, the reason that we're doing this live is because we want you to ask us questions. Otherwise, we could have just recorded this and just had a fun time by ourselves, which actually we just did for about an hour.
We've been drinking already. This is not our first beer, by the way, guys.
So we could have done this alone, but it'd be great to get as many questions answered as we can from you guys, and we'll be checking out the comments. So in fact, let's start there now. So Ed says, hey, Phil, it's Ed Flynn from Orland Park. Hey, local Chicago area. Looking forward to learning some more about leather and what Chicago Come is all about. You're in the right spot. Josh Dillon, Phil, I talked myself out of getting a pair of Alden Indy shells today. I'm not reading the rest of this, but that does seem like a mistake. Pretty distraught over it. Thoughts on Alden Indies? We were just looking at my Alden Indies. Maybe that's a good place to start. So John and I were just talking about picking out shoes, and I have quite a collection of different shoes.
Phil has quite a collection for a guy.
Yeah,
it's a pretty impressive collection too.
And
amazing leathers.
Maybe before we get in that, we take the ridiculous Shell Cordovan bottle opener and crack this Solemn Oath bourbon barrel aged coconut Baltic porter. Let's see if I'll give you a small guy. You want a lot?
You know what?
We're going for it.
Let's just. Ooh, that's nice. It looks like coffee color.
It looks like tar.
That is a serious.
It's the color of my soul.
If I drink this and fall over, you guys call 911 or call my wife or somebody.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks for coming by.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Wow, it smells like coffee and tar. It smells really boozy. It smells like a vanilla barrel, like a bourbon, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty. I mean, it is almost 9%. It's pretty strong.
And it's supposed to have a lot of coconut in it. It smells like fake coconut.
It's very rich, and it's very. It's not very fizzy. I mean, it's a little bit. I won't say it's flat, but it's a little bit. Maybe that's the type of beer.
I think that's kind of part of the porters.
Yeah, maybe
they're less, like the bubbles are smaller.
Yeah. It's got a nice aftertaste actually.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was at our local liquor store here in Chicago, it's called Binny's, and this was I was asking the guy there for some suggestions, and he suggested this one because they had made it together with the Solemn Oath guys. So let me actually give you a little close up of this daddy. So
look for the snake when you're at Binny's. Just ask ask for the red snake.
It feels too much to me. It's like too intense.
I find it a bit,
but we were just drinking
a bit
IPAs.
perhaps oily.
Yeah, it's hard.
Do you know what I mean? And when you swirl around the glass, it literally like kind of sticks to the inside of the glass, the color.
Yeah.
It's like kind of not quite a beer. It's like something in between a beer and something else.
It tastes
that makes any sense.
Doesn't it taste a little artificial with like the vanilla-y coconut? I don't know.
I think there's a little too much going on with this beer. To really just drink it and enjoy.
Should we just fully abandon this whole beer? All right, I want to get to Josh's question. Josh, this is a really good question. And we were just looking at all these boots together, and I've got tons of stuff. But John was really drawn to the 1,000 Mile boots. I pulled out the indie boots, which have that sort of fake mock toe across the front. But mine are in Chrome Excel. I love them. And my buddy Nick Corwin has a pair of Shell Indies, and they're awesome too. For some reason, the Shell Indies have a little bit of a different look on the mock toe. It's like they sew them a little differently on a skin stitch. That mock toe that they have on the indie boots is not like a functional stitch. It's what we call a skin stitch. But I think they're really cool. Alden, I also think is really cool. I was trying to sell John on, I had some Roy boots and those indie boots, and I've got a plain toe shoe. I was trying to you should really buy the Aldens. But John's really into that sort of work bootness of the 1,000 Mile boot.
It's very sleek though too. The look, it's a very clean look. The sole is very thin, as you mentioned also. I don't know if that's a plus or a minus in the Chicago winter. Yeah, but it's a beautiful shoe.
They're super really slippy, nice. Those soles.
So they're leather soles actually, which is I think is kind of a minus for me. I'd like to see if they have one that's not.
They put little caps on some of those 1,000 Mile boots, like on the soles.
Yeah.
They kind of look like a commando sole, but it's like a cap. It's not like a full tread across the whole bottom. They sort of skip the arch. But you might want that.
I think that might be a good option. To not slip in the ice. There's like so much ice around here in the winter.
You will die.
End up on your rear end.
I've fallen,
looking good, but on your rear end.
I have fallen a lot on those 1,000 Mile boots.
Yeah, but they look killer. If you guys have not seen them, check them out. They are killer 1,000 Mile boots.
But Josh, I can't really, truthfully can't suggest Alden enough. And I really like the indie boots. It's got a cool story too, so it's fun to tell about at parties. But to me, if you know what size you are and what last you are, I think those are on the True Balance last. That is a really awesome boot to get, and I don't think you can go wrong at all. So I would highly suggest the Alden indie boots, and I don't have them in Shell, but the ones I've seen in Shell look absolutely amazing. So if you got the bucks, I would suggest doing it. Sort of bite the bullet. But
you'll have them forever.
Yeah,
you really will.
Yeah, I mean,
you'll have them for decades if you take care of them and don't get them, wet. And
it's a dangerous game though, because we were talking about
wallets
earlier,
right? And
John has a beautiful.
I got a beautiful buy it for life wallet. The Garnet Cordovan is my second one, of course, because you buy one and then you're like, oh, one different color.
So that's the problem is they're too good and they last forever, and you end up getting this bug of the shelf.
If you're reincarnated, you can use it in the future
or just hand it to your kids. It's Father's Day is tomorrow.
That's the excuse. We're going to give it to our kids. But actually, you could give it to your kids.
I don't know if you think your kids will have those same 14
size 14. My older son probably will. Yeah, he's close already.
Big did.
Yeah.
Maybe the soles could be resold with the JR double leather. So yeah, I actually resold my indie boots, but you could put different soles on 1,000 Miles if you wanted. But just buy them the way you want them first. I suggest getting those ones that kind of look like commando soles.
Yeah,
for you. But definitely, if you got the money and you like the way the indie boots look, get them in shell. So anyways, the problem with it's like sort of this hole that you dig yourself into with all this leather stuff is like once you find one and you understand why it's cool, like you like the way that smells and you like the way it's aging.
I love the smell. The smell of cordovan is something unique. If you guys have never smelled this stuff, it is out of this world. It's just so different from anything you've ever smelled before.
Yeah.
Just get a piece of cordovan and that's your nose, you'll see right away.
I just got a weird
and it lasts. The smell is not like a new car smell. It goes away. I mean,
True.
It goes on for years.
Yes. I just got a really weird combo of like fake vanilla-y coconut and this.
It looks honestly like oil, doesn't it? Like when you see it like on TV, like an oil derrick, like shooting out oil, it looks like this is like the exact same kind of color.
Yeah, and I feel bad if the Benny's people and the Solemn Oath people are checking this out. I think this is a gimmick. I think this is a gimmick beer that is for somebody that just wants something funny or like, I don't know. It's just not, it's very sweet. Like I don't want to drink anymore. Should we just switch it up? I think I'm
going to say we should just pull the trigger and try something else.
Okay.
It's a little too much. I think it's a little too much going on. I think a beer has to be enjoyable, first of all.
Do you want to hang out with everybody?
I'm going to hang out with everybody.
You want to try that, the other IPA had?
Yeah. Oh, the other one you had? Yeah, bring it over.
Yeah.
Over. So actually, guys, I'm working on another beer right here while Phil is out. This is a Bodum by Half Acre. I just picked it up on Lincoln Avenue at their brewery. They got some pretty cool beers up there. You guys have seen Daisy Cutter. I'm sure you've seen Daisy Cutter a bunch of times. This is a new beer, I guess. It's an IPA. It's very, very easy to drink, 6.7% alcohol, very drinkable beer. Bodum, I think it's called, or Bottom. I've not seen this in stores yet, but when I do, I'm going to pick up another cases because it's very nice.
You can get that at Benny's too.
Yeah, Benny's apparently carries this beer already.
All right.
Phil brought over some new stuff.
This one is also strong. We're playing the dangerous beer game. What is this? This is Pipeworks.
And this is also a local Chicago brewery, actually.
Yeah, they're I've been there. They're connected to another brewery. They're actually like a block away. They're a couple blocks west of where we're at right now. But they're connected to what's the beer with the mouse on it and it's all black and white packaging.
Yeah.
Oh, the name. They have a beer I love called Dino S'mores.
It's like a drawing. Their labels are drawings.
Jess is gonna kill me. My friend works there, and I like terrible names. But anyways, I've been there. Really cool guys. This is a brewery called Pipeworks, and somebody on this channel. Hey Vegavis, good to see you. I think maybe Vegavis or somebody was telling me about these Mosaic hops. So I picked this up about a week ago and drank a couple already. But I'm really into Mosaic hops. They're IPAs that aren't pine tree or not like eating a pine cone. Not that sort of bitter. They're sweeter and juicier and more like fruity.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me of like Fruity Pebbles or something. So let's try.
I'm a fan of that because typically I'm not a fan of hugely bitter beers.
You'll like this one.
I'm a bit sensitive to IPA. I do like IPAs. Some IPAs, but yeah. I'm not a huge IPA guy.
Vegavis, it was Honorous that was enlightening me. He was my Sherpa or whatever he was calling me. But cheers to the Lizard King from Pipeworks.
Cheers.
Immediately better than
the
other one.
This is a beer. This is a drinkable beer. This is like an experiment. I'm sorry to say, it's a bit of an experiment.
Yeah, they're going to kill us. They're going to hunt us down.
Don't be mad. I'm sure some people like this beer, but for me, I like a beer that I can drink and not overly think about it too much.
Yeah,
and wonder. And I don't want to struggle through the beer. I want to just have the beer and get a little bit of alcohol, and that's it.
This Pipeworks is very heavy, but it feels refreshing after.
It is refreshing. It goes down easily. It's not a struggle.
Right. Exactly. That last one was tough. I'm kind of bummed about it because I thought it would be delicious. All right, let's get into it. What are we going to get into? I need it. There's a couple bits of housekeeping. I promised some people to give an update on my Vibergs. So these are my natural shell Viberg. Gosh, what do they call them? I forget the model. But I don't think you can actually buy this exact one. It was a special makeup. I've been wearing these off and on for the last 3 months. Somebody was asking if the color has changed, and today I wore them in the rain. I'd say they've gotten a little darker. The camera's having a hard time.
It's a bit darker in the front, I think, and maybe a little less up at the a little less up here.
Here, you hold that one.
Sure. You see, I think it's darker up here in the front and a bit lighter here up here by the ankle.
But it still has like a vibrant, sort of yellowy, natural shell color.
It's a consistent color still. It's not that different.
Yeah. So somebody was thinking, and my business partner Dan was telling me that somebody had an experience with the Dublin. This blows my mind. With this English tan Dublin.
Yeah.
They said on a boot, this gets pink. I can't imagine this turning pink.
I just think it would get darker. I mean,
Yeah,
we've used Dublin. We have old Dublin sheets we had for years. They just get darker. They don't get,
Yeah.
I don't know how to get pink unless you get
Well, I think
something on them. Like
there's a possibility
chemical.
in the UV light that this will change colors and sort of oxidize also with the oxygen.
Mhm.
I'm not sure of the chemistry behind it or the physics behind it, but this has not changed color. So I forget who was asking me about it, but these still look basically as new as they
How
were.
long have you had these?
3 months, but I haven't been wearing them a lot.
Yeah.
I've probably worn them in 3 months. I probably have worn them, it's hard to say, 40 hours worth, maybe 50. So I haven't worn them a lot. And one of the things that I could say is how they're wearing in. They are getting more and more comfortable. And in the Viberg literature, they explain that boots like these take a few months to break in. And I still have to say that's absolutely true. They're very firm. Like, feel how, like, try to bend it. Try to bend the sole. It's super stiff.
It is very stiff. It's solid though. You could feel this shoe's gonna last you forever.
It feels right. That's how I feel about it. I feel like you pick it up and you're like, oh, that's a boot. This is
a boot. This is not. There are no shortcuts with this boot.
It feels
this is
real.
An amazing boot.
But it's super stiff, and it's taking quite a while to give me any sort of give at all. Like, I'm pressing pretty hard, and you can see I'm not getting very much creasing here at all. And that's because the sole is mega thick and mega dense.
So it's a leather sole with a rubber.
This is called a day-night sole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually like these soles. I resold my indie boots.
Oh, does it have any leather? I guess it's not. No, I guess it's all one piece, right?
Well, that's a good question for a boot maker. I'm very low level understanding of shoe crafting.
Yeah.
But what they do is
I'm at almost zero, actually. I'm gonna be honest with you.
There's like multiple layers of leather here. So this is called the upper, which is what the shell is. But they sew the upper down to this midsole, which is also made out of leather.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Is the midsole does look like leather, and then you got the rubber kind of part below it.
Yeah, and they attach the rubber to that midsole.
You can see there's two sets of stitches here along the shoe. So probably one is going to the leather, and then the other one's going to the rubber. You see there's one stitch at the bottom and two at the top.
This is a method called a stitch down construction. It is distinctly different than a welt construction, like on the indie boots I was talking about earlier. But I just want to sort of sum up how these are wearing in. I like them. Hey, Amy. Oh my gosh. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. It's awesome to see your name pop up. And hey, Matt. But I just want to sort of sum up a little bit on these. They're very stiff. So if you ever pick up a pair of Vibergs, they definitely aren't lying when they say it will take a few months to break in. Somebody had asked about the color. The color is not changing. They are slowly getting more and more comfortable. I'd say they're actually they pinch me a little bit. On my left one, my foot must be weird, or the boot's like a little different in shape, but it kind of pinches me a little bit here, like above my arch, I guess it would be. So that's kind of annoying, but every time I wear it, it gets a little bit better. And on this one, it hurts me a little bit on the inside quarter panel here.
Is it lined on the inside? I see it's a different type of leather on the inside.
Yeah,
right?
And I'm glad that you said that, because I think, I could be wrong, but I think unlined is the way to go. I don't think a lot of people do it for good reasons, but I saw a picture, and I'll show you maybe after this, of an unlined shell Viberg boot, just like this, but without this lining on the inside. And it looks insane. It looks super comfortable. I think that's part
of like a reverse shell on the inside.
Yeah, it's smooth and comfortable, and it molds. Where I'm not sure what this leather is on the inside. It looks very clean and nice. But it's holding up the form and the shape of this boot, which is great. But I think even if it were to droop a little bit more, I bet it would be much more comfortable. So that's why I like 1,000 Mile boots. There's no lining. It's just a chunky piece of leather.
It's Chrome Excel.
Yeah, well, those are.
Those
They
are
did make
ones.
they did make a limited run of Shell 1,000 Miles.
Oh, is that right?
You might be into.
Mm-hmm.
But these are good. They're kind of uncomfortable for at least the first month. But they are getting better and better the more I wear it. So that's kind of the update on these. I know that these are sort of a hot topic and people are really into Viberg and they're beautiful. I think they're really awesome looking. They are stiff and tough to break in.
This is a quality shoe. This is a well-made shoe.
Yeah, it feels
It's
right.
Amazing, yeah.
It reminds me of your.
It's got good weight though. It's not excessively heavy. It's not
Yeah.
like super heavy, but it's pretty solid.
It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, it's got a little weight. For you, you're a strong guy. You don't
So that's
worry about
housekeeping one. I had something else too that I'm gonna make a video about this too, separate from this live series. But this is a Florsheim I picked up on eBay, and I get a lot of people asking me how to spot real cordovan on eBay. And Florsheim is not a highly sought after brand, but I really like these. They really look like Alden's actually, and they are used, but I did wear them to a wedding last week and they were plenty comfortable. I really liked them.
Is this a color number 8?
Yeah, let me give you this one so you can sort of get a sense of what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. So I had been spying on eBay a little bit, trying to snipe some deals on cordovan shoes. And these are actually my second pair of any cordovan shoes. Vibergs are the first. But I bought these. Guess how much I bought these for on eBay? Maybe people in the comments will be interested. These are a pair of Color 8 long wing Florsheim shoes that I actually really like. I haven't touched them. I didn't polish them or anything. This is how
They're in good shape though. They're not beat up a lot.
No, they're fine. This is how they came to me. So the price on these is $65. I think I paid $15 in shipping. So $80 for a pair of Shell long wings, I think is a really good
Do we know how old these are? Are these?
I have no idea.
Does Florsheim still sell? Do we know if they still sell cordovan?
They do.
It doesn't say in here anything about when
So
it was
there's
made or anything.
We did a little
research on it.
Skip Horween and I did a little research. There's a serial number in here that says 77407. I don't know if you can see that.
This says 77409.
Yeah, or maybe I just can't read it. Oh, it does say 9.
Yeah.
So each of those numbers, this one's probably from the 90s.
Okay.
Like the late 90s. $75. Ed got it right. So that seems to be about the going price for the Florsheim stuff. If you look and see Alden stuff, it's 3 or 4 times the price of that.
For used
on eBay.
Yeah.
Right. I think these are pretty cool.
Is this Horween cordovan?
Yeah. So that's the question I get all the time is people see these photos online and they're low res and like you can't really tell. And how would you know? Like you don't know what you're looking for.
It doesn't say Horween on the inside of the shoe anymore.
Well, sometimes they'll actually be
maybe a piece of
straightforward.
reverse that shows a stamp or something.
Well, like the eBay lister will say like these are Shell cordovan, but I have a good enough eye at this point. I've seen enough Shell to know like when it's not. Sometimes they will lie, and you got to look out for that. But the big thing to look for is right here. This is where I look first every time. This is what's called the break. So when your foot flexes, the Shell cordovan that is real Shell will never develop those pebbly creases. I don't really have anything else here to give an example, but I'm sure everybody has seen a pair of leather shoes where it pebbles up here and it develops
like a permanent pebbling effect.
Yeah, it looks different. This is always smooth.
This looks a little bent, but it is not pebbled.
It will bend and break into whatever.
See, it's still smooth and shiny.
Yeah,
it's been bent a million times.
But it's not. What's not happening is it's not separating from the fiber layer of the leather, and a delamination is what happens. So on most shoes, you'll see the leather delaminate here.
On most regular shoes, not cordovan.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll see it start to look a little bit pebbly. I think these look great, and that's what you look for right there. Is sort of that smoothness of the break. So if you want to know if something's real on eBay, that's probably the best way to look. Is how smooth does this break look? And there's other things like the luster. Like we have pretty bright lights in front of us here, so I'm getting kind of a nice luster. But most of them that are fake won't look this smooth, and they'll have more sort of creasing here than this one does. Maybe creasing's a bad word. Delamination of the leather, like pebbling.
Yeah.
It looks different. But for $75, I thought this was a pretty good deal. I wore them to a wedding last week. I thought they're comfortable.
It's a nice looking shoe.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
For $75. Oh. That sounded way heavier than it was.
They are a little bit heavy, actually, those shoes. I'm not sure if they weigh more than the boots. They might.
Right.
It's pretty close.
Nice F-holes on the guitar. Hey, Mike. This you want to hear about this guitar? I inherited this guitar. This is a Gibson ES. What is it? ES 125. And I don't really know how to play. Actually, I got this tune all crazy.
That's my favorite song, actually.
They're tuned in fourths. It makes no sense. This guitar is really cool. It was I inherited it from my wife's family, and I just think it's actually magical. And this kind of fits the theme a little bit of what we want to talk about.
So this is a Gibson. These are made in Pennsylvania, I believe. Is that right?
I think you're right.
Somewhere in the U.S.
This one's from the 50s.
Is that right?
Yeah. So
that's a beautiful.
I think
guitar.
they were probably making them in the same spot.
Probably, yeah.
But again, kind of like those Vibergs, is when I pick up this guitar, it kind of just feels right. It just seems like
it's well made. It's something that is made to be used for a long time.
Hey, Outrun the Sunlight's here. Good to see you guys too. Oh, I'm gonna put it back. There it goes. But anyways, it feels right, and I think there's something to be said for these old instruments. These combs that you make. You brought a level that's really cool. We brought this old.
Yeah, listen, guys, I brought some interesting stuff that has been in my family for many, many years. Check this out. This is when your grandfather got a haircut at home. Perhaps he used one of these, a clipper set. Look at this, and tell me how much this. This is way more than the shoes. I think it does.
This weighs as much as the shoes.
This is made in Rhode Island, probably in the 50s or 40s, by a company named Brown and Sharp.
So is this what people say or mean when they say it wasn't made like it used to be? Look at how crazy that is.
I know
they stamped like a paragraph on the inside of this.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how.
I
mean, it weighs a lot, but this is 50, 60, 70 years old, and you can still use it. I mean, I've never used it personally, but
you don't have example. You don't have any facial hair.
I mean, I shave with it every morning.
Do you want to give it a go?
You want to try it out?
I'm a little scared.
All right, guys, let's vote. Should Phil try it out?
Yeah.
I won't make him do it. I won't make him do it.
Mike, yeah, the Axe Effects is right here.
Yeah, right.
You can't have that either. And that, the Axe Effects is the exact opposite of what I'm talking about. This Axe Effects it takes the circuits of old technology, guitar amps in this case,
yeah,
and it models each component of the circuit to make a new thing. So this little box behind me has all the guitar amps ever made modeled after those circuits from the real one. And that is totally fake. I actually think it sounds really great, but there's something different when you get the real thing. It feels different. And people will tell you, the guitar players that are here will tell you that there's nothing that sounds like a real amp in the room. Like it feels correct in the same way that this kind of feels correct. This heavy clipper and those boots feel correct. They just feel right. And that's something that Axe Effects, this guitar model.
They're made a certain way by people who thought about what they were making and wanted it to be made perfectly and really cared about how it's made. Not just sort of to make it and sell it quickly, but to make it the right way and then sell it, which is the whole philosophy of you guys, of Horween, I think also of us. Well, make the product and make it great, and then
let's get into that, because for those of you that are just joining here, please send in all the questions that you can, and it's good to see a lot of my friends here, and I miss you guys. I wish I could see you. Some of you I saw today, and so I don't need to see you again for a while. But Mike and Amy and Matt, I miss you guys. It's good to see you pop up here. Thanks for supporting us. But John, the reason I brought John here is because we've been working together for many years, and he makes a really cool product. The Chicago comb, I use one every day. Actually, I brought this from upstairs.
Yeah.
So I use this metal comb every day.
So it's a stainless steel comb with kind of a black finish on it. And of course, it's got the leather case that leather sheath that's made by the guys at Ashland. So this is one that you've had for many years. This is like you can see how it darkens over time. This is the same color, but many years later it turns so dark.
It's probably been 3 or 4 years at least.
At least, yeah. And it could have been darker originally because some of that color is a bit darker than other examples of this.
But there's something satisfying. I want to know why metal comes, but there's something satisfying that every day in the morning. It's a nice thing to wake up to. Like I like having something that it feels correct. It fits my hand right. It's got some heft to it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel cheap. It doesn't bend. This one is something I just miss.
It's kind of made with love.
I want everything that I have to be something I love. So my question to you is, I've had plastic combs.
Yeah.
But I've used it for a while. So maybe I'll tell you why I like it.
Sure, tell me why you like it.
I like that it makes this noise.
Oh, I can hear that. You can't do that with plastic comb.
But I also like that it's a little wider tooth and it doesn't bend.
Yeah.
I like that it's rigid.
That one's good for your hair type because it's a bit wider, the tooth, and it's made of stainless steel. We also make titanium and carbon fiber combs. It's going to last forever.
Yeah.
I mean, you got this comb your whole lifetime to give it to your kids or whoever.
Yeah. They don't want my dandruff.
You can just clean it off and you're good to go. It's like these shoes. I mean, they're not, these shoes have innate value, these cordovan shoes.
Yeah.
Even today, you can sell it for $75 on eBay for a pair of 20-year-old shoes. I mean, try selling a pair of 20-year-old crappy, you know what I mean? They have no value. They're just go in the dumpster.
But yeah, they don't last.
They don't last. I mean, other cheap, cheap dress shoes, they have no value.
So the durability and longevity is the reason.
The durability and also, just the aesthetic of the design was very important to us. So this is our Model 1 comb, for example. We have a design patent on this. This is kind of original design. This is the one that you have actually. A bit wider teeth, got the ring here. You can spin around your finger, pull it out of the leather sheath. Here's an example of a reverse shell sheath that Phil made for us with a little beautiful Horween stamp on it.
This was the easiest design I ever made, by the way. I took the shape that I thought was beautiful and just made another shape that complemented it.
It fits beautifully. It really fits beautifully. We also have another comb that fits. It's actually the same size. It fits in the same sheath. It's a little bit, there you go, a little bit less popping out. There you go.
Yeah. What's the model of that one?
This is the Model 3. It's similar to the Model 1 in length. It's got a little bit finer teeth for guys that have like, a little bit finer hair. We also have other combs like this is a wide tooth comb, Model 5. They're all made here in the United States. We make metal combs. Obviously, we also make carbon fiber. This is a new type of comb we make. It's very light and strong. It's a carbon fiber composite. You guys also make a leather sheath for us. That's ginormous. This comb is 7 inches long, and the sheath is
I imagine these
almost as big as that wallet, one of those wallets over there.
I'd imagine these are more competitively priced.
Yeah, these are actually, you can get these even on Amazon. These are like $14.99, and we have the Model 1 version in carbon fiber. It's $13.99 on Amazon. So these are much more affordable, but it's also an amazing comb. It's very rigid. You can feel how rigid this comb is. It does not flex much. It's very, very heat resistant and so on. So all made here in the U.S.
We were talking before we started about all this combs. I know that you're busy, and I know that you sell a lot of combs. But what do you think it is about? Maybe it's the material, maybe it's the story. But what do you think it is about this combs that people really want to buy? Like, why are you so busy?
I think people just like having.
I'm going to put the fan on. It's getting hot here.
Yeah, I think people like having a good product. It's all made here in the United States. The materials are top notch. You kind of know who makes it and where it's made. It's not like a big mystery, like, oh, it comes from some kind of a sweatshop somewhere, and it's kind of an unfortunate situation, and it's shipped 8,000 miles to get here, and it's poor quality, and it's kind of a sad thing in many of these in the comb world. You're not in the comb world, but in the comb world, it's sad. A lot of the stuff is like very cheap. There's like a lot of like dollar store combs, and
I don't even know what the comb world is. Like, what else exists?
The dollar combs and Ace combs.
Is that it?
Well, then you have a little bit nicer combs, like made by a company like Kent. Those are maybe like in the $10 range. Those are cut from like a piece of plastic and kind of polished.
So you're in another league with a metal comb, right?
The metal combs are another league. The carbon fiber are more competitive with the plastic combs because it's a composite material, so it's more competitive. But these are more of like you buy this once. These are like the Alden shoes of combs,
right?
I would say, in my opinion. I mean, these will last. People sell these at eBay too. You can go on eBay and find used Chicago combs. I mean, you won't find a cheap dollar comb being resold on eBay. Those are thrown out.
No,
but these you can find these on eBay. People are reselling them.
What's the material? That's stainless also?
This is stainless steel
with like a sandblast finish.
It's not sandblast. It's like kind of a unique finish that we came up with, but it's similar to sandblasting.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen this one.
Yeah,
What do you call this?
This is called the standard comb. So this is our kind of typical stainless steel comb.
See how well I can do an up close and personal there, because the texture is really cool.
It's a bit like I don't want to say it's grainy, but it's got a bit of a kind of like almost like a sandblasted finish, but it's very smooth. You can feel it.
It does look like a sandblast.
Yeah, it's not sandblast, but it's kind of a little bit different process. But
it's sure is cool. It's got an interesting luster. I'm sorry for nerding out on like small little details, but that's what I like about the leather, is all of them have a little bit different something going on.
Yes, yeah.
And that's what I'm seeing in this. I gotta buy one of these for you.
It's yours, man.
But I like this one too. I don't like. I think it comes from me from the leather world, where I don't like something that looks fake. Like this looks like a chunk of metal, and it looks real and hardcore.
These are cut from a piece of stainless steel that's probably like 15 feet long and 10 feet wide, and we cut thousands at a time, and then they're individually finished. So we also do hand finishing work on them to shape them and so on. But it's solid. I mean, it's a piece of stainless steel made in Kentucky, laser cut here in Chicago, polished here. So it's all made here. We make it the best because we want you to have it for
forever, right?
But it's yours.
I've had this for years.
But now you want another one. It's like the wallets.
I do want another one. So tell me this. I have a lot of wallet styles, and I know after what has it been 8 years? After about 8 years of doing this, I tend to know the people that want a certain style, or I can ask them 1 or 2 questions and know exactly the style and leather for them. Who wants this one? Like, what type of person wants each of these?
Okay, so
we got a bunch of different.
Yeah, I got a bunch of different ones. So this model 1 is basically like a pocket comb, mostly for a guy. Women use these too, also, but it's like 5.5 inches long. You could put it in your pocket, maybe not your pocket, but your travel bag. If you have like hair that's not super fine, you can use this comb
like this,
like beautiful long locks of hair, like the actor over here, the Hollywood model over here. So this is the Model 1 comb. And we got the Model 2 comb, which is also a nice patent design we have. And this is more like a beard comb for finer beards. So you have a finer beard, you use this comb on. You just kind of
this is a fine beard. Is that what you're
saying?
Well,
it's not a super long. It's not like a big, I've seen the guys like the big beards.
Caveman beard.
yeah, like the Duck Dynasty type beard. It's not a Duck Dynasty beard. So this is kind of more like for kind of shaping the beard a little bit, mustache.
I never do that. Maybe I should do that.
Although my wife actually has one of these combs too. She has this in her bag.
For what kind
Just
of
like
hair?
for an emergency, kind of like it's like a little mini comb.
Okay.
So I mean, it's a beard comb, but it's also another type of comb. You can use it for different purposes. Then we got this
like the wide guy.
This I mentioned. This is the earlier Model 3. This is similar to the Model 1, same size, but it's a bit. You see the teeth are a little bit finer. So if you have a little bit thinner hair, not super thick hair, then maybe the Model 3 is kind of more the way to go. And the Model 4 is kind of more like a smaller size comb, like a true pocket comb. It's got similar teeth size to the Model 3, but it's just a lot shorter. Also could be used as a beard comb. And then we have this. This is the Model 5.
I'm sorry. Does this have the story that I love, the TWA story?
Yes. So this is actually, it's
okay.
Like,
I love history. I love history, and this one has a really fun story that I'm going to make you tell us. How did you come up with this
we saw combs like this in travel sets from like TWA, and remember Pan Am Airlines? The one that blew up, and not that.
Oh wait, did I mess that up? Was it all?
It was a couple different airlines, like the luxury airlines in like the 70s. They used combs like this. They were plastic. This design rectangular, and they gave away to first class travelers, and we're like, that's a cool design.
I love it.
Yeah, so we made a comb this design. It was very similar to the plastic version of it.
Let's put that up there. This one's cool. It's a cool shape.
That's called the Model 4. That's the so-called standard version. They also come in versions of the black and a very shiny version called the mirror, also made of titanium. We have a titanium version of that comb. It's very nice.
This one seems small. So you said this is a pocket one?
It's more of a pocket comb. I mean, these are actually both pocket combs. It depends where you put them, but they're both kind of pocket size.
Okay.
So yeah, that's sort of the airline comb, the luxury, the first class passenger comb of the jet age, so to speak.
Remember when flying was great? Actually, the last time we talked,
I've heard about it.
The last time we talked on camera, we had this chat where they used to treat you real nice, and now you're just like jammed in.
It used to be luxurious, I've heard. Now it's like you have to pay for a soda.
Have you been on Spirit?
Yes, I did fly Spirit once.
How was that? Was that all right?
It was not that bad.
Let me guess. it was delayed a little bit.
It was a little delayed. My seat was like half an inch thick. I'm not kidding.
And you're not a short guy.
I'm like, why is my seat? The seats are usually pretty thick and cushioned. This seat was like, I swear, I'm like, what is the seat made of? It's made of like a piece of like plastic. That's it. I guess to cram more people together, the seats are thinner.
They got to make their money.
The leg room was okay. It was fine. It's
you could tell they just like ripped everything out of the plane and like, all right, let's put some
It's kind of a scam because they charge for like everything, even like the bathroom practically.
Oh my gosh, we got a bunch of words here. Stephanie, it's good to see you. Chicago comb looks awesome. Definitely on my must-have.
Thank you, Stephanie. Much appreciated. Thank you.
I use this thing every day, and I know that we're maybe sounding like an infomercial here, and I don't like that, but I literally use this every day, and I love it. So I can't suggest this comb enough. And a little self-promo is I like the sheath. I think
you guys make the sheaths. They're amazing.
The sheath is clutch. I can't just put this in my. I have like it's kind of like a cup that holds my toothbrush or whatever. If I put this on my stuff without the sheath, it feels dirty or something. So I like having the sheath, and then when I travel with it, I don't get my
because the comb also gets stuff on it. It has like your hair goop,
right?
Oil from your hair, and if you put it in there, it's kind of clean. It's away from your pants or pocket or wherever.
So here's the best part of the story, and so this, John, I think I bought like a bunch of these from you to sell on our site because we sell these with the Cordovan combs. But I think what's funny about this one is John returned this to me. He said, "This is crap."
No, that is not a true story.
And I said, "You know what? You're right." Because
was it damaged?
See that open cut?
Right. Okay.
In the leather world, when we tan the leather, sometimes we get these little open cuts, and when the animal gets scarred in the field, that scar doesn't go away when you tan it, so it's going to show up. And this one we probably didn't see until we turned it like that and started flexing it, and then you really see this cut sort of open up.
Okay, so maybe it is a true story.
So John brought it back to me. He's like, "I got kids."
I don't return a lot of them. I mean, you're maybe 1 in 1,000. You guys give us amazing stuff. So, but this one I was like, wait. There's like a big hole in here.
So I said, screw you, John. I'm going to use this.
Or you're like, we're done. I'm like, no, please, no.
I'm using it for myself. And actually, I have a Cordovan one you gave me too that I don't use. I like the Dublin one better.
It's just a cosmetic thing, but I think our customer would be like, okay, I don't know.
I think it looks fine. I mean,
it looks fine too.
You're right. If I got this and I didn't know any better, I'd say, why'd you send me one with this open cut? But even though the Cordovan's more expensive, I like the Dublin. I actually think I'm going to be bad for business and sell the cheaper stuff, but I think Dublin's much better.
Dublin is a very nice leather. It smells nice. It has this kind of waxy, kind of crinkly thing when you bend it when it's new.
It looks it reminds me of something that I'd see at like a antique store or something like that. I just like how rustic it looks. It looks sort of heritage.
There's a lot of variation in the Dublin, especially the English tan Dublin, more than any other leather I think that we work with you guys. Well, so in terms of color, in terms of like texture, you see like stuff from the animal. Kind of, you can tell it's made from an animal. It's not made from it's not like a plastic type of leather. It's a very, very natural, I guess. Is that the right way to put it?
Well, yeah. I mean, do you have any more comb stuff to share? Because I think this is a good segue to talk about leathers.
I just have these last two combs. This is Stephanie. This is actually a Model 6 comb. It's actually a great comb for women. It's a 7-inch comb with like wider teeth and finer teeth. My wife loves this comb. Then we have a Model 5 that's also a wider tooth comb. So these two are actually very good for women, for longer hair, not just women.
I got to be honest, this one seems way too long. I'm going to be bad for your business. Why is this so wide? Are there just people with crazy...
Like a dude with...
This is way wide. Look how wide this is. And this one is wide. This is even wider. So who's using this one?
Like
super thick hair?
Like a huge beard or like a Yeti kind of person.
yeah.
Like a Chewbacca type. Somebody with really like if you got really thick hair and you want to just kind of pull it apart and like kind of you take a shower and your hair's all tangled. If you have big hair, maybe you want to start with this. You start with this, and then you end with one that's a little finer. So it's kind of like the same like this is wider here. So when I style my hair, I start with the wider. And then I finish with the finer if I want to, or maybe I just use the wider for that.
Speaking of which, do you still sell the hair product?
We do actually. Yeah,
I'm gonna buy. I liked the one I had was like really pungent, maybe too pungent.
Yeah.
Can I give you some feedback?
Sure. Was it this hairstyling or the beer oil?
It was hairstyling, like a cream. It was awesome. It worked great. It was very like potent, like very pungent.
Yeah.
I liked it. I used the whole thing.
Yeah. I was going to bring another one. I didn't realize you.
Do you have like a milder scent one, or is it just one scent?
Just one so far.
Okay, I'm into it though. It's
good.
It's like a cologne. It's
a little strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like the feel of it. It's kind of creamy. It's kind of like it's like buttery almost.
I'll be honest with you. Every time I run out of hair conditioner or hair products, I try a different one out because it's kind of like leathers. Like there's so many different leathers. Like how the hell do you know it's good?
Yeah.
So I keep trying different ones, and I actually tend to keep going back to your one for that reason. It's got the right consistency, and I kind of have sort of thick hair.
Yeah.
So I need a bit of hold, and it's.
But you don't want the one that's super like waxy.
It's not waxy.
Yeah, you do not want that one. I personally don't like that one. The one's kind of in between.
The waxy ones tend to hold a little bit better, but it's
like putting Vaseline in your hair.
Yeah, you look a little grease bally.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. There's a couple questions here. Ladies can use wide tooth comb, especially when wet. Makes sense.
Absolutely.
But also kind of funny the way you put that. Oh yeah, I'm sure works better for longer, denser hair. So there you go. That's a female. It's more of a female thing.
Yeah,
makes sense. A finer tooth comb would probably get stuck in my long curly hair. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the wider tooth is good. Like this is the Model 6 comb, really wide teeth, even wider than this comb. It's great for kind of detangling when you've taken a shower. Your hair is wet. Start with this, and then if you want to, go with the finer.
Yeah. Do you use You have such little hair. Do you do like a hair dryer?
No, I just take a shower and dry it with a towel, and then I put a little hair product in it, and then I comb it.
I think if I were to use both sides, I'd have to like dry it first.
Yeah, I don't always use both sides because I find this a little too styled for what I'm trying to do. Like I don't want my hair to be super like all in one direction, super straight and fine. It looks a little too formal. So I'm just trying to use the wider, and then I sometimes will take the comb and do this like that.
On the back side.
Once I've combed it, take the back of the comb and go like this, kind of like tousle it a bit.
That's a good one. So if you sell combs for a living, what are other like? Is there anything else crazy you can do with the comb, or is that the end of your party trick?
I'm a one-trick pony. No, I mean these are good to. Obviously, these are also like styling accessories. You carry this around. You pull out your pocket. People are like, "Oh, what is that?"
Yeah,
is that a comb? It's a Chicago comb.
It's a Chicago comb. Do your combs come with the sheath? No, I don't. Let me answer that for you.
We have gift sets that come with the sheath. So you can go on our website, chicagocomb.com. We sell comb and sheath gift sets, which are actually a really good deal. Amazing sheets, all made by you guys. Horween leather, of course. Only the best.
Thanks for the question, David. And everybody else that is in here, thank you so much for hanging out. We've got a couple more things we want to go over.
Yeah, we got some amazing wallets over there.
But really, the most important thing I want to say is that the reason we're doing this live is so we can get your questions. And to me, this is the first time John's joining us, but to me, it's the most fun part is I just want to relate to you and answer any questions that you have. I want you to know every single thing possible that I can teach you about leather or combs in this case, so you can make a good decision when you come to buy a shoe or a wallet or a comb or whatever you're going to buy. So let's move on a little bit farther. And I thought it would be really cool to ask John some leather questions because, and again, I don't want to be insulting, but I am so...
Insult away.
You don't know anything about leather.
What's leather? Is that a type of plastic?
Yeah.
Is that brown plastic?
Well, so that's the thing. Is like I am this close to the leather every day, all day.
You're swimming in it, literally.
I'm just absorbed by leather. So it would be really helpful for me to ask you questions so everybody out there can understand a little bit more about what I'm holding in my hand, so they don't have to buy it to know what I'm looking at. And again, like the whole idea is so people can make good decisions. So can you tell me, I know that we make the sheets for you, but can you tell me the different leathers that you choose or they've chosen and why you
So we actually have 5 different types of leathers we use. The first one, this is Essex. This is like an Essex natural. It's like a kind of an unpatinated, I guess, or uncolored leather. It's a natural color, right? This is like basically the skin color of the cow.
Tell me what you think of it.
I think it's the skin color of the cow.
Okay.
Is that right?
Let's keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not wrong. that means you're wrong, Lewinsky. This is Latigo. So this is a much firmer, tougher
Yeah,
leather.
put that one up in the
This is
camera there.
kind of a blue, which is pretty cool.
We
It's
call
like
that
turquoise.
teal. We call that teal Latigo. We actually sell some.
It looks either blue or green, depending. To me, it looks green from here. To you, it looks blue.
Yeah.
So it's like a blue-green color. It's Latigo or Latigo. You guys call it Latigo?
Latigo.
Yeah, I call it Latigo too. So we make these are very nice. This is Chrome Excel. This is like to me is a more like a more polished leather, and I believe that. Sorry, drop one. I believe this is like finished in a special way to like kind of
Show that one up here.
remove some of the surface imperfections, if they're imperfections or characteristics, if you want to call it that.
The Chrome Excel.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this is Dublin, which is a bit more of a natural leather. So this you see like the scratches and the scars. This actually happens to be one that doesn't have too much of that, but you kind of see like the veins of the animal, and like if it has little things on it, that's another Dublin. This is the same type of leather.
This is before and after.
After like many years of use, it darkens. We tend to see more of the animal in this leather. This is more like an organic almost type leather, in my opinion. It's like more like you see. This is made from animal. This is not made from like some synthetic material.
Yeah.
And this is a cordovan, a reverse cordovan. This is the backside of this is made of horsehide, equine leather. You see the Horweening stamp on that, and that's black on the inside. The green comes from the process of how they kind of soak it in this liquid for 6 months, and there's like some old guy that knows all the secrets. And
yeah, you did.
It's been done for centuries, and that's all I know about it.
That's pretty good. I'm impressed. So you know much more than most people, I'd say. So
I studied before I came here. I didn't want to look like a total idiot. I just want to look like maybe a 10% idiot.
So I mean, that kind of like half defeats the purpose of what I want to talk about. But I think again, like I can tell you every single thing that is specific about each of those. But I think what would be helpful for everybody to understand is, since I'm too close, is for like.
And these are all Horween leathers, by the way. These are all made by Horween in Chicago. There might be other leather. You guys can make other leathers too. We only sell 5.
I have a box of other leathers.
Yeah, I mean, you guys make like more than this.
We make a few hundred different types of leather.
Yeah, but these are more popular.
So let's start with what do you want to start with?
Let's start with Essex.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. Maybe you have more to say about this because
I do, but here's what I want to do. This will be a fun game.
Sure.
And actually, maybe we could turn this into a drinking game.
Oh yeah.
So
if
you say a fact that is correct, I will drink.
Okay.
If you say a fact that is incorrect, then you can drink.
I'll drink anyway. I'll drink both.
And we'll both drink. So I think actually what would be most impactful is it's just like when you grab a piece of Essex, and maybe you want to look at this wallet because it's a little bit more surface area of context.
Yeah.
What do you make of it? What do you see in it? What do you feel about it? What does it smell like? What does it look like? Does it have a different luster?
It has a bit of a smell. It's a bit softer in terms. It's more flexible than the other leathers. So
Okay,
if you take a Dublin, you can feel it's got a bit more rigidity. I think that's part of the waxes that are in there that make it a little bit harder. This is kind of more like, to me, it's more like skin. It's like the skin of the cow.
Do you think if it was a different color, you would feel differently about it? Or is it because it's sort of this light natural shade that...
I mean, to me, it looks like skin color. Sorry. I mean, and I know it's got a bit of patina, but it's kind of like,
no,
I think the skin of the cow.
I don't think you're like, so I'll drink because I don't think you're incorrect.
Yeah. And it's soft. It's very pliable. So this is a wallet. This is thicker, but this is like, I mean, look at this. You can bend this in half. I mean, this is, whereas if you try to do it with this, it's going to, I mean, I could do it, but I mean, it's like, it does not want to do it.
It's a little bit more
firm. It doesn't want to do it. I mean, and this is the cordovan. I mean, you can do this, but it doesn't want to do it really.
Yeah. I'd say softer. What do you make out of the, try not to lead you into it, but maybe you can compare the Chrome Excel grain character versus the Essex grain character. Because so let's do
the Chrome Excel is the red one. So
maybe I'll let you hold that, and I have an Essex and a Chrome Excel here. So this is a Chrome Excel wallet, and this is an Essex wallet. I'm trying to ask John to compare the grain character on each of these, and it might be impossible to see on the video.
If you think of the grain character as maybe like almost like the pores in the skin, the Chrome Excel to me seems like the pores are either closed or they're kind of like sanded off or removed in a way, whereas they're more open in the Essex.
I will drink to that.
Yeah, the Essex to me, if you look closely, it actually looks a little bit like, I don't say my skin, but it looks a little bit more like open pores,
Right.
Whereas the Chrome Excel is like, it's almost like more polished. Like you actually don't even see the pores; they're not open.
That's exactly
and
right.
And then maybe the way that they make it.
It is the way we make
They
it.
meaning you make it.
That's the way I make it. Well, let
Not
me
you
expand.
personally, but
Let me expand a
Wayne.
little bit because a lot of the stuff you said is super relevant and important. And actually, like you were saying, softness.
Yeah.
Take a look at this. Tell me how you feel about the softness of that Chrome Excel.
Yeah, this is very nice.
It's like kind of supple.
I love this wall, by the way.
You want that one?
No,
I'll trade you.
Well, the comb is yours. I already have 4 of your wallets. So
Do you? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I thought you only had 2.
I got 2 Cordovan and two other ones, a Dublin and a Latigo.
Okay.
But all the same. All the same. By the way, this is the Johnny the Fox wallet.
That's John's wallet.
This is so nice. Like if you have a husband or boyfriend or dad, Father's Day.
Sell it, John.
Honestly, this is like, tell your dad it's made in Chicago or your boyfriend, get him this wallet. It's so, come on, seriously.
Well, it's awkward for me because
Nobody has, the thing is, people don't have nice wallets. They usually have a wallet they bought somewhere at TJ Maxx for $20.
Right.
And they get a crazy wallet and they're like, shit, that's nice. That is a nice wallet.
Well, I think
thank you. Like, thank you.
There's
And they're not that expensive for what it is, made in the US, Horian leather. I mean,
there's so many things I want to say. I think there's a couple things. It takes a special person to appreciate the difference, because I think a lot of people. It's like we had talked before about different types of beef, right? It takes a special type of person to appreciate the difference between Wagyu beef and just like the cheapest possible cut. Like somebody has to like care enough to like think about what they're ingesting, and in this case, take enough time and care to like look at the wallet and like think about it and like appreciate it. And I think that's sort of like a dying breed, and part of what I'm trying to do here is to sort of bring that back.
Yeah, I don't know if it's dying, or maybe more people are into that. I think so. It seems like more people. Some people are like, "Oh my god, I'm not going to spend $30-$40 on a comb." But other people are like, "You know what? I'll buy this comb and I'll have it for 20 years."
But there's mental capacity involved that takes time to like. My band that was showing up in the chat here, the Out in the Sunlight guys. By the way, hi guys, and I'm going to trash you for a second. My band really likes Modelo beer. And it's good. It's fine. It tastes fine.
Beer is a great analogy for this. It's a great analogy because it's like there's like the Budweiser of wallets. Yeah. And there's like not that last beer we had, but this one.
Well, that one's trying too hard.
This was the trying too hard wallet.
This looks like it's trying really hard. But what I'm trying to do with Ashley,
but it actually tastes pretty good.
I want to make something like there's not many products that are like nice but not flashy. Like I don't want a Prada bag that has the logo everywhere. Like I want to make something that's clean and nice. That's why the 1,000 Mile boot looks cool. It's like that looks like a boot and it looks really nice. It's not trying to be something.
Your stuff is subtle and it's very well designed. It's beautiful.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I mean this wallet is a perfect design for a wallet for me.
Anyway.
You fit your credit cards in here.
I can't take too much credit for the design because that is like the wallet. Like if a man thinks of a wallet, that's probably what they're thinking of, right? Well, we did. We did design it. But it is like
it is, but in terms of the actual like number of slots and the fact that you got like one kind of thing. I mean,
the thing that's special about it is not only the material, but we took a lot of time to think about where the stitches are placed. And I'm getting super off where I want to talk about. Phil, it looks like a boot. It's not a boot. But we're getting off the topic here a little bit because I want to go back to this Essex.
Sure.
John was saying that the Essex is soft, and I'd say that is true. We can make a firmer Essex, but it is almost inherently soft because of the amount of oils that we tan into this. So last week, somebody was asking me about a pair of Vibergs that had an Essex Viberg boot or something, and they noticed a lot of looseness. Remember talking about those shoes with the creasing? This sort of folding back in on itself.
Yeah. This
Essex here doesn't have a lot of creasing. I had learned something about the manufacturing steps that Viberg takes in their construction process. And they're actually sort of like turning it inside out and then flipping it out. And I think in that process, they're doing a procedure that we call backboarding. So it's like if you I ripped this one a couple of times ago, but it's if you took the grain layer of the leather and you flipped it back on itself, sort of like that, and then you press it down and smooth it out. That is a process that we call backboarding, and it tends to give it that junky look. See how it's sort of junkifying?
Yeah.
So that's what's happening on. I forget who asked it last time, but that's what's happening on those Viberg boots. I observe Essex to be quite tight for the break. It's what we would call a tight break, where it doesn't have a lot of pebbling. It doesn't have a lot of that delamination that causes that pebbling look. And this one's a little dirty on the one side, but
Yeah.
You can see where I flex it. It's not like creasing in an intense way. It sort of has very tight pebbling. I don't know how else to describe it than that. It's sort of a subtle thing that you have to pay attention to. Again, like why people that buy leather from Horween matter is they can pay attention to that.
But it's a very nice leather, and it changes color over. It darkens more than other leathers, does it not? This is another point that people. If you buy it like this, it's going to look like this after a while, or maybe even like this. I mean, don't you have examples of
it will darken that much?
I mean, this is going to go by itself, not through some tanning process. I mean, it's not going to stay this color unless you never use it.
The reason it changes, and this is what we call patina. Some people start using the word wabi-sabi. I give you that book.
Yeah, I love that book.
Did you read wabi-sabi?
Yeah, I sure did.
All right, so people like
wabi-sabi.
There's something about patina that is special, and there's something about having a wallet or a shoe, or like John brought this level from his dad. The patina on this is really cool. There's something about things that are aging with time, or this radio behind me.
Yeah,
which
is amazing RCA radio, which is like imperfect because they're little chips, but it has this character of something that's cool, real, and has endured for a long time.
If that was made out of plastic, it would be completely boring.
And nobody would care. Nobody would keep it then. They'd just junk it. And
the same with this. Like, if this wasn't a hefty ass like iron.
I mean, look at this thing. This thing weighs. This is a level made by what is the name? Starrett Company in Massachusetts. This thing is probably from the 30s or 40s. My father got this somewhere.
Yeah,
he was an engineer. I mean, this thing is crazy. It's a level, but it weighs like.
But like, how
you could drop this out of an airplane, it would still be fine.
Forgetting the function of it, just the aesthetics of that. Like, I would put that on a shelf.
Yeah, we keep it at work. I don't need a level at work, but I use it. I keep it anyway as a beautiful work, almost like a work of art. It's like a work of manufacturing. It was made by somebody that really was like, let's make this thing last forever.
Yeah.
You know?
And
whereas today people are like, I'll give a shit. Let's make it cheaper. Let's save 5 cents and make it on plastic. And this is like, it's impressive in a way. It's old, but it's impressive.
They probably use too much iron on there. Like,
it is over manufactured. Like, actually, frankly, so are our combs and perhaps your wallets.
Yeah.
But it's okay because it's against that disposable culture idea where you buy it and, 2 years, I'm going to throw it out and get a new one. I mean, come on.
Outrun the Sunlight says your target audience are the people who spend too much money on gooseneck kettle and measure their coffee by grams and invest much money into music pressed on the wax. Okay, I see where he's going with this. It's actually, I know you're being ironic and funny because you're a funny guy, but it's also true. Like, those little details matter. Like when you're making coffee. So he's describing a pour over coffee, and they're using a gooseneck kettle that's heated to the precise temperature, and it's swirled over the coffee in a very specific pattern, and it's the filter has been pre-wet, and it's made of a certain material that is specific for that coffee. All these little steps, it's 100 little things that make one thing excellent, and not one big thing that's makes it great. And it's the same with the heavyweight grams of in a vinyl record that I believe it's Austin talking to us right now from my band. But that creates a deeper groove in the vinyl, and it sounds better. You get more response from the needle hitting through those grooves, and it reflects. It is represented audibly through the speaker.
You actually make it better the first time. You put more effort and thought into making it, and then you get a better product which you can use and be happier with, as opposed to just going through the motions.
I think
kind of, and trying to save I'm going to save 20 cents, and it's like then you get a piece. You're not happy. It's like.
You can't skip on a little detail. Right? Yeah. That's the point of what I think Austin's trying to say.
This cordovan takes 6 months, right? And 100 steps. And this doesn't take 5 minutes to make. This half a year. You know how long that is? Half a year to make this leather?
I have many stories of me trying to improve that process at the tannery, and they won't even hear it, which is good, probably. Yeah. I bet you I could make something very similar, but it's that 1/10 of 1% that makes it special. So if I increase the throughput on cordovan through the tannery by a half a day, it wouldn't matter because it's just that tiny bit worse. So we're fighting over decimal points at a certain point, and we're trying to make everything as good as it can be through those 100 steps of process. And it's hard, but I think that's where people have gotten away. And there are probably people like me that went to business school that show up at a leather tannery.
They're like,
go, hey, we could do
let's do this in 30 days.
Right.
or 90 days or something.
And that's not what it's about. It's about doing the slow way that's just the right way.
And that's rare today. It's rare because everything is like, let's shave like 3 cents off the cost times 1,000,000 units, and that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but it makes no sense.
It doesn't make any sense because the product is not that great. At the end of the day, people are like, "Oh, this is junk."
I'm tempted to go into the going green thing, but I have so many leather types to talk about.
Let's talk about some of these amazing wallets you got.
Well, we skipped over the difference between this Essex and the Chrome Excel, and
Yes.
you nailed it. You nailed the difference as far as grain character. The Chrome Excel has a more polished grain character. If you look at it really closely, you might not be able to see on the camera. Maybe you will. In fact, right there, you can see. Let me get the side that's not dirty. So one side is like kind of messed up, but one side has that sort of like unique bit of highs and lows. It's not just one flat color. And also it's not really like a bright, shiny luster. Take a look at this. This also is kind of more uniform in color, although there is a pull-up in the middle here where I could write my name in it if I wanted, which would be really difficult.
What letter is that?
This is Chrome Excel. Sorry.
What letter did you write in there?
That's a...
is there a P in Phil?
That's a U.
Looks like an O.
So
this is another example, by the way, of the two leather types. This is
it's so hard to see.
It's hard to see. You can see it's a bit maybe a bit hard to see, but
it almost focused for a second. Let me stand up real close.
Oh, there you go. So the Chrome Excel is on the top.
This is the Chrome Excel, and this is the Essex.
The Essex is the natural one. It's more grain. It's just much more grainy.
Grainy.
It's more open. The
Yes.
leather's more. It's like open. It's like
You
your
nailed it.
pores. That's pores.
And
Literally, it's leather pores.
I would make the analog to Dublin. So Essex and Dublin are incredibly similar as far as grain characteristic. If you look at that, I'm looking very closely right now, and I can see small grain holes. It looks like a real thing. If you look super close, you can see where the hair once was, and that's what we call grain leather, or the grain of the leather. Now, the only difference between this and this is we put a hard wax on the surface of the Dublin leather. We take Essex, we get a hard wax, and finish it with a hard wax layer, and we sort of like plate it down with an iron, like a hot plate.
Yeah.
And it gives it, it just gives it a nice look.
The Dublin is an amazing leather. It's actually our best seller is actually this color. This Dublin, English tan Dublin, is an amazing seller for us and beautiful leather.
It does also have a similar pull-up effect. So you can see me running my finger underneath the leather here. It does have that sort of pull-up effect, but it's so quite a bit different than the Chrome Excel. Like I'd say this is a little bit more dramatic of a pull-up effect. And you can see right where we folded it in half. What's happening in a pull-up is we're displacing the oils and the greases that we've tanned into the leather and removed it to the side. And I can actually, if I take this and sort of rub my finger over it, I can mobilize those waxes and oils right back into where it was. So I can fill it back in like that. And all we're doing is moving oils. That's what creates a pull-up. You're getting the same thing on the Dublin, but it's happening with waxes. We're getting sort of this pull-up look. And then I can sort of rub that back in. I like the Dublin. So hesitant to do absolutes. I like the Dublin more. And you notice going through my shoes,
yeah,
I have
more than Chrome Excel.
I have so many more Chrome Excel shoes, though. I think, I don't know what it is. There's something about a Chrome Excel in a shoe that looks cleaner. And I think that's because of what you were describing is we've actually corrected the grain down. We've taken a polish, like a very fine sandpaper, and polished down the grain of the leather to give it this sort of smooth look. It looks really clean. It has like a really subtle luster. Let me try to show that there. Where this is much more grainy. It's a little bit more natural, so it's a little less refined.
It's a little less refined, but it's cool. It's very beautiful in its own way.
I like it more, honestly.
It is more wabi-sabi, as you might say. It's a bit more unique. Every one of them is different. So you see, like, these are both the same leather type, but the color's a bit different. If you fold them, they look a little bit more similar. This is a bit more perfect, but also when it gets scratched, then you're like, oh my God, this thing is not, fucking scratched. It does scuff a bit more easily too.
I'd say it's a little bit more delicate.
Whereas when this scuffs, it's kind of like, it's already more natural. So you kind of expect that. Whereas this is a bit more finished in a way. And so it seems more like a defect in the Chrome Excel.
Yeah.
And in this, it just seems like part of the leather because you see the grain, the folds.
It sort of ages like my
skin of this is
comb
animal skin. So it's got the folds here.
This is sort of how it ages. And I haven't polished this or anything.
As you mentioned, we even see scars in here sometimes.
Right.
Other kinds of things the animal naturally had in nature, when it was living. And they're retained here, whereas in the Chrome Excel, they're gone. I mean, they pretty much, not always, but they mostly disappear.
And I know from talking to you earlier that you prefer the Chrome Excel. And this is good.
Some of them I prefer. I prefer the brown Chrome Excel is amazing.
I'm glad that we differ. And I think that's the point that I want to make to the 8 people that are here right now. There's probably going to be many people that watch this in the future. But the whole point is, for me, it's very simple, is if you like the way it looks, you should buy it. If you don't like the way it looks and somebody says it's great, don't buy it. It's all personal taste. And once you get past the longevity and durability of something, like if it's from a reputable tanner, like Horween, Wicked and Craig makes good leather.
Yeah.
CF Stud makes nice leather. If you know it's from a tannery that you've heard of and you can trust, pretty much anything they make is going to be nice. You just have to pick from your personal taste. So I always get the question of what's the best leather? And the answer is always, I don't know. Like, what do you think? And it's frustrating for people because they want to know what's the most badass, perfect leather. And it totally depends. So maybe I'll skip some wallet presentation here, but
we you guys are gonna love the wallets. We should show the wallets. The wallets are pretty amazing.
I've ranted about this before in the past, and I think it's really important that if people go to a store and they like a shoe, that's pretty much where the conversation needs to end. You should just say, that's why I didn't try to sell you too hard. I did try to sell you on the Aldens, but you saw that 1,000 mile and you're like, I like that. I like that. It's sleek. You should get the 1,000 mile. I'm gonna slip on it and break my neck, but I'm gonna look good in the cast. And I don't think you're the type of person to be too easily dissuaded or persuaded by somebody else. But I think if somebody's trying to say to you oh, no, you don't want that. You want this other leather or this other style, screw them. You like what you like. The thing is, the Horween stuff is all amazing. It's not like Horween is making leather that is oh, this is a piece of whatever. Well, that's the thing. These are all look at these different leather types. The Latigo, Chrome Excel, Essex, Cordovan, and Dublin. These are all amazing in their own way. It's like different friends. You have different friends. They're not all identical. But what's the best? Which one's the best could be whatever color you prefer, whatever style you prefer. Exactly. They all smell nice. They're all going to last a long time. They're all great. They're all great. It's hard for me because I want to tell people a hard rule. If it's this, then that. Yeah. But it's never that easy. It depends on the purpose too. Cordovan, if you want to buy a pair of Alden shoes and have it for 60, 50, 30 years, great. Buy that pair. I can get you Chrome Excel that lasts that long. It will just look different. Yeah, you could also get a Chrome Excel one and treat it, take care of it a little bit and it'll be fine. So you were asking me earlier, maybe you weren't even asking, but we started getting down this path of what's so great about Shell Cordovan? So, this, here. What do you like about this? This is a color 8 Shell Cordovan. And what do you not like something about it? I like the leather. I find the design way too ornate. What do you like about the leather? The leather, I'm talking about my wallet also. I love that it never creases. So my brother has a similar wallet to this, a black one, which I bought from 3 years ago. And look, you kind of straighten out. It's not creased. There's no wrinkling effect. My brother's oh my God, this wallet never creases. It's crazy. For real? And he didn't know. But he's a doctor. He has no idea about anything. He didn't know that Cordovan wasn't supposed to crease. He doesn't know about Cordovan. I just bought it for him as a gift. I told him this is an amazing wallet. It's crazy material. And he's like, okay, whatever. Thanks. Yeah, but see, it's so easy to say this is amazing or this is the best. But to me, it's more about what are the specific things that you like. So I like. Guess what I like? The design? I'm trying to not answer for you. I just like the luster. It's got a really bright, shiny luster. Yeah. It looks fresh always, as long as it's not dirty. But the shoes obviously are clean. Super old. But this is this shoe is at least 20 years old, 20, 30 years old. 30 years old. Are you kidding me? This shoe is brand new practically. This looks like a shoe that's 6 months old. It's got a little scuff here. You could take it right out.
I mean, this is a shoe that, I mean, this shoe's been worn probably thousands of times, hundreds of times. It looks amazing.
So that's a reason.
That to me is a statement about you pay more, but what are you getting? And do you want to keep buying shoes and tossing them in the garbage every year or two? I mean, why? It seems like it's like very wasteful. And
so I think the challenge should be,
also, where's the pride in that? You're just buying like, and also, are you saving any money? That's the other question. I mean, you're like saving money, but only in the short term.
Oh, I mean, I've had many people that are customers of ours that tell me how much they love their Cordovan shoes because they were their grandfather's shoe and they've just resold it and it still looks as good as it did in the 1950s or whatever it was. So,
yeah.
So that's cool. And I think I was going to say what I think the challenge should be is to show me a shoe that's 40 years old right now. Like, what does that look like? And it probably doesn't look this awesome.
Show me a shoe anybody would want to buy that's that old, other than maybe that. Or maybe a pair of like Air Jordans that are in the box, the original box.
Well, so the other thing is the totally crazy confusing part that's going to mess people up here is shell cordovan is a vegetable tan leather. This is a vegetable tan leather. And people say that vegetable tan leathers are inherently stronger than chrome tan leathers, which is the Chrome Excel and some of the other products that Horween makes. The reason that this is ripped is because I did a demonstration.
Because you're very strong and
it's
enormous biceps.
It's like so not strong though. This is straight veg. It's actually tanned alongside the shells.
What kind of leather?
That's a veg strip that is tanned next to the shell cordovan in the pits that you've probably seen those videos of.
I've seen the pits in real life. You showed me.
Yeah, try to rip that. It's like paper. It's nothing. Right, so people say that veg
just
is
like a cowhide, just some kind of random cowhide.
That's a horse. That's just alongside the cordovan butts.
Oh, it's a horse hide too.
Yeah, it's tanned right next in the same vessel as the shells. It's just not that membrane.
Why do they do that? Just do they sell it or they?
Because we can't see where the dense fiber is of the shells before we.
Oh, I got you. This was cut off the piece.
Yeah, it's like outside of the shell. It's like the perimeter of the shell. Yeah, so we have to kind of guess. So we crop the hide at the waist,
right,
and then tan it and shave it, and at that point we can.
It's nowhere near as strong as the.
It's quite brittle. Like it tears very.
I mean, you can see how much like it rip is like ripping like.
So that's the thing.
But good luck trying to do anything with this.
Well, I mean, so that's my point. Is
you need a tremendous amount.
You
of force.
can read online about why vegetable tan leather is strong, and they could be lying to you, and it doesn't matter because nobody's ever going to rip a key. That's a key case.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever going to take a key case and tear it like that. Similarly to on these, like nobody's ever going to try to rip this, like unless you're being an idiot.
But it holds up, though. It holds up.
So I guess
people don't have shoes that are that old usually.
Right.
I mean, this thing I mean, also because the guy paid a lot of money for it, so he's going to keep wearing it. He's not going to toss it. But I mean, but originally, whatever he bought it, he probably. But then he was like, "This is a nice shoe." He kept using it over and over again. So you definitely get your money. You get your money's worth.
Yeah.
If you care about that,
pop a new sole on it.
Pop a new sole eventually, and
I think the challenge though is that there's so much misinformation or double talk and just information that's not relevant that gets sold to us about all these different types of leathers that it's confusing. And so again, like the biggest thing is to find a tannery that is reputable, that you've heard of, and that you know people that have good experience with, and then find a shoe or a wallet or a comb sheath that looks good, and just buy that one. If it's made from somewhere you like, it doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter what the internet says. It doesn't matter what I say. Just pick something that you like. And that's what I keep wanting to say, because I think it's so hard to get into this world of like right and wrong. And it's not like that. It's all right. Everything is good as long as it doesn't break. So do a little bit of research on if stuff breaks, but other than that, you're all good.
Yeah, agreed.
Let's get into a little bit wallets, because we went through some combs and how which comb is for each person.
These wallets, you guys are gonna love these wallets. They're amazing. You guys have amazing wallets, and I bought many of them over the years for myself. And
I can go get another beer, and you can just sell wallets for me if you want.
These wallets sell themselves. If you know a guy and he does not have a nice wallet, get him this wallet. He will appreciate it. Yeah. And also the story. It's made here. The leather is made here in Chicago. The wallet is made here in Chicago. I mean, what more do you want? It's amazing quality. It's made here. Like, how can you not love that? It's not made in some sweatshop somewhere. The leather is amazing quality.
Keep it coming.
I mean, you feel good about it. Like, well, you buy a cheap wallet at some store for $20. Do you feel like proud of it?
I don't feel good about.
Oh my God, I'm so proud. I bought this here's
the thing:
Tommy Hilfiger wallet for $10.
Ashland Leather Company as a whole, we have this culture where we don't try to sell what we do. We just try to let the leather speak for itself. So it's kind of like a restaurant, or I can't eat seafood because I'm allergic to it, but like a steakhouse. So if this steakhouse buys like the best Wagyu beef ever, you don't want them to put a bunch of sauce on it and like a bunch of seasoning on it. You just want them to serve you this like awesome steak. So what we try to do is not try to sell you on anything. That's why it's awkward for me to have this conversation.
Well, you're very modest, but I'm not going to be so modest. I think the wallets.
Our style
and the leather's amazing.
Our company's style is to not like make a hard sell because we just want to inform and give people the best knowledge they can. Stephanie says the best part of knowing the people that make your stuff, having the relationship with people is amazing. That's actually really cool too. I think that's a value add for sure. And that's what John's here now. But I don't sell people. If I get an email from somebody, I'm never trying to push something on them. So the way that I approach it is I'll say, okay, are you buying for yourself? Or are you buying for somebody that you know? Okay, tell me a little bit about that person. Do they wear a suit to work, or are they more like a funky dresser? And that starts me down this path of two different types of people. It's sort of like a more avant-garde, like artist type, or more of a working professional white collar job person that has to have like something a little bit more formal. So actually, your wallet I call it a mullet because it's got this. Do you mind if I grab your wallet?
Of course.
It sort of has this like clean, sleek look on the outside. That awesome.
You see, it's a bit darker here, where it's kind of. I keep it on the inside pocket often. It's
butt sweat.
No, it's from the inside. I keep it in the front pocket.
Thigh sweat.
It's a little bit from the sweat. Yeah, it's a little bit from the heat in my body, maybe.
So I think this is an incredibly like clean, sleek look, and on the inside you have a reverse shell cordovan. So this is super cool. I think this is the opposite. I think this is more of the avant-garde, like artist. Yeah. Somebody that wants to be a unique individual. This is the type of person that
the reverse
wants
shell.
The reverse. And I just happen to have
oops.
Don't lose your wallet. I just happen to have some marbled shell.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So like if somebody tells me, I'm buying a wall for my son. He is a graphic designer and he works in the film industry. He lives in New York City and he's really hip and he drinks Pipeworks Brewing Lizard King Mosaic Hop Pale
or Baltic Porter.
Yeah,
coconut.
That beer sucked.
All right, guys. The truth comes out now. The truth comes out about this beer. We're not buying that beer again.
So somebody that is a little bit more aggressively styled, I tend to suggest the marbled shell cordovan because it has this awesome, unique. I start to think about Jackson Pollock a lot. It reminds me of that randomized like dye swatches on everything,
and it's unique. Every one of those, the marbled are all unique.
Right. And you can see how dramatic the difference is from the inside and outside. So to me, it's about that style. The other thing is this is the Fat Herbie, and I actually have a Fat Herbie in my pocket. This is the wallet I use every day. This is I call it raw shell cordovan. It doesn't really exist. But you can see this is sort of how it started looking. And the more it's aged, the crazier it's gotten. And I just love the patina that thing is picking up.
And the original color was what, more like this?
It was like the inside.
A little bit browner.
It looked completely dull and kind of it looks like, see how it looks a little bit suede and cloudy almost? Yeah. It's open.
It's not really finished.
It's completely unfinished. It's what I call it raw shell. But the more I wear it, the more smoothed out it tends to get.
You see how it changes over time, how dark it is here along the crease. It's absorbed color from the environment, from your pocket, and
from my butt.
Mother Nature fills rear end.
Right. So that's what I like. I like something completely unique. And I like the Fat Herbie. Here's why I like the Fat Herbie. I think you probably hate the Fat Herbie. It's too big. Right?
The Fat Herbie for me is too big.
So that's the other thing.
Where do you keep that thing? In your back pocket?
Yeah, it's in my back pocket.
Okay.
So I love the Fat Herbie for a lot of reasons. I'm poor. I got $20. It's so easy to get cash in and out of. It's kind of challenging if you have a fully loaded Giant Fox with a ton of cards.
I'm always like kind of thinking like, what should I put in this wallet? You know,
it's
in terms of cards. I don't.
This is the easiest wallet to get stuff in.
But that's a big wallet.
It's huge.
Yeah.
The other benefit of this is guess whose wallet's thinner. Right. So the Fat Herbie is thinner.
Mine's thinner. No, yours.
It should be thinner. There's
Oh
more,
yeah, yours is thinner for
there's
sure.
more surface area for this
Yeah,
card
you've got
section.
two sets of card slots on one,
Right.
or two. I guess four actually.
There's four
Yeah.
card slots, but they're stacked side by side, as
Right.
opposed to those are stacked
Yep.
on top of each other in threes. So the Fat Herbie, for me, it's also like just super easy to use. I can get cards in and out. The cash is really easy to get in and out. I love the Fat Herbie, but it is completely not formal. And it's for somebody that is adventurous. If your style is adventurous, I like this. And I like it in something crazy like a marbled shell or something like a vivid bright color like that teal Latigo.
This is more like a traditional wallet. This Johnny the Fox is like, I used to be a lawyer in my previous life. This is like a lawyer wallet. This is a doctor wallet. My brother's a doctor. This is a wallet for a professional guy who puts in his back pocket or in his, front pocket or whatever for like, not like a big size wallet, but like, some couple credit cards, some cash.
So that's how we segment out like style. It's casual or like formal and more adventurous.
Yeah.
Like old school, new school kind of thing. And then I go, how much stuff do they carry? Because if you only had a couple cards and you don't like carrying cash, maybe this is the best one for you.
And this is marbled. This is a marbled shell also.
Yeah.
That was the color on this kind of tannish and green.
That's the Frank the Enforcer. That's actually one of the first ones we ever made in that wallet.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how nice it is.
But for you, since you use it in the front pocket, and if you had less stuff, that might be a better option.
Horween ink stamp in there. This is amazing.
I love it. Yeah. I guess I have a lot of Fat Herbies here. The other thing that might be better for you is this guy, which you said you liked earlier.
I like that wallet, actually.
This is the Bugs Moran. And people that are familiar with our style, Stephanie has two. Do you have two Herbies, Stephanie? But people that are familiar with the Bugs Moran might recognize this shape. And the way that I came up with this style was because people really liked Fat Herbie. But they thought that it was too big. It's like strikingly large. However, when you use it, it's not big. It feels correct. But it looks bigger. And people perceive it as larger because it's a bit taller than most wallets. It's kind of like, here, this is my passport wallet. Oh, it's like the size of a passport. Let me get my screen back here. This is a passport right here. See where I've been. So this passport, it's about the size of a passport. So it strikes people as larger than most wallets. But for me, like it's
and it sits comfortably in your pocket, in the back pocket.
For sure,
no problem.
Have you tried it?
No.
I'm going to sell you in a Fat Herbie.
Ow! No. Oh, oof!
My spine,
my back. No, it's a nice. It feels good. It feels good. And this is a nice. I never thought about this wallet because I thought it was. I thought it was too big. Yeah,
right?
I was like,
everybody thinks
it's a big wallet, but it's a pretty nice.
It feels better if you're a back pocket kind of guy, which you're not. It's better.
But I would be with this wallet actually.
If you're a back pocket guy, it's better in the back. Front pocket. My dad actually uses this in his front pocket. He's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know how you sit down with that.
He likes it because he has. He's a sales guy, and he also has like expense reports and like all these receipts. So he has 1 million receipts in his George Costanza wallet. But anyways, I'm completely biased. I love Fat Herbie. I think it's the best wallet. But what people wanted was a smaller version. So that's how we came up with the Tony the Ant. So the Tony the Ant is just like this Bugs Moran. It's the same silhouette, except we put a bill slot on the back. So it has the same aesthetic quality as the Fat Herbie on the back. But this one happens to be a Bugs Moran. It just has that bill slot over the back like that. So Tony the Ant.
Where do you keep cash in the smaller one in the Tony the Ant? Is you just fold it up and put it in the?
There's a bill slot in the back here.
Okay.
But also you can fit here. I'll just show you right now. I got $20. All right. You just fold it in half, and you take it, and it will fit actually underneath these two.
So this is good if you're like kind of on the go. Let's say you're traveling, you're going out some nights and
minimalist.
Go to some bars or something.
Or
maybe you just don't want a lot of stuff in your pocket.
People don't like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, so you have a couple driver's license, credit card or two, a little cash.
Right. So the bigger slots on the bottom fit the folded cash, and that's the same on Tony the Ant as the Bugs Moran.
And these are all named after famous Chicago philanthropists or
philanthropists.
Famous scientists who work in Chicago? Mafia guys.
Yeah, they're all gangsters. Yeah. The most famous one is actually John the Fox, which I think he is Danny DeVito in Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Not Goodfellas, Casino. That's Johnny the Fox, I think. I could be wrong. But like Fat Herbie was named like Herbert Blitzen.
Yeah.
He was like a little bit lesser known. John the Fox, he was like a tough guy, like would just beat people up.
Like a Al Capone type era.
Well, so yes, but you'll notice that I don't have an Al Capone wallet, and I've done that on purpose. I think Al Capone is like a little too on the nose. I think it's like too obvious of a name.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to save Al Capone for like a stupid wallet, like something like small and dumb. I
Yeah.
don't know, like a money clip or something. Just because I think it would be
Like
funny.
a pencil case.
Did I ever tell you? We have the Louis Little New York. Did I ever tell you the story about how Louis Little New York's nephew reached out to me? I never told you this. So Louis Little New York is the card holder we have. It's a minimalist wallet. Stephanie's saying some stuff, and Vegabee's saying some stuff. Only problem is my pocket would be too small for Herbie. That's not true. I've never had a pocket that doesn't fit it. Are you wearing super tight lady jeans?
Why am I wearing them?
Are you?
No, these are not too tight.
It fits in the pocket.
It fit mine. Let me try this mine. It fits. Let me see here, guys. By the way, these are Dearborn denim made in Chicago. You guys, if you want a pair of nice
They'll
jeans
fit
made
there.
here in the U.S.,
Show us your booty
$60. You want to see my butt? Look at that.
It fits in there.
Yeah.
The mic's in the way, but yeah, it's right there. It fits in every pocket.
I didn't think I'd be showing off my rear in this show, but it's late, so we got a couple beers.
You wore your Dearborn denim. But it does tend to fit in every pocket. When I go to a wedding, it kind of bulks up my pants a little bit, so I use it in like my breast pocket on a dress suit. But unless you're wearing like skinny jeans, you shouldn't have a problem. It fits in everything. Anyways, I don't even remember where we were at. Oh, Louis Little New York.
Yes.
His nephew reached out to me. I should pull up the email because it's cryptic, but it just said like his name was like Philip Campagna, because Louis Little New York was like Louis Campagna.
Yeah.
So the email comes in, it's like Philip Campagna, and I go, oh my god, I didn't know that name. And it just said, thank you for honoring my uncle, and that's it. That's like the end of the email. So I'm like, oh my god.
He's like he's like don't fuck it up, or I'm gonna come up to Chicago. You're going to end up in the bottom of Lake Calumet.
That's where my mind went to immediately. So I'm thinking that this.
You're like, Dan, let's make these nice. Make sure these are nice wallets.
Well, this gangster's nephew is like, this guy's going to come to get me. And I said, thank you so much. I respect your family or something like that. I'd really love to send you a wallet that we made for your uncle's name. So I sent him a wallet and he goes, just wanted to let you know my uncle died in a fishing accident. And I was like, oh my God. He was very abrupt with these emails. And he goes, my uncle died in a fishing accident. I'm like, oh my God, that must have been.
I saw that in The Godfather too.
Well, I was like, that must have been a powerful fish. And he goes, it was a grouper. And that was the end of the email.
Fuck.
So I sent him a bunch of wallets and he was happy.
Okay.
But these are real people. That's the other thing. It's like,
they're real people.
Fat Herbie was a real guy. John the Fox was a real guy. Some of these people.
I saw an auction online for Al Capone's pocket watch. He had a diamond encrusted Illinois pocket watch from the 20s. It was like platinum and diamond. It's over $10,000.
Oh my God.
I was like, I didn't think about buying it, but it was for auction.
This was the well, what do we call this? The Lexington Hotel key case. This was named for the vault that Al Capone's vault, like
the Geraldo thing.
The Geraldo thing. This was the Lexington Hotel,
yeah.
which is where Geraldo went for the vault. That's what we named this after. And then I made the larger key holder. I named it the vault key holder for the Al Capone's vault. So this one that we ripped all apart is for that.
Yeah,
it's all
very
gangster
nice.
things. But I only name the wallets after gangsters. Everything else, it's like a valet tray, a watch strap, and then there's Fat Herbie. Let's see. Any other questions for you guys? I think we're going to try to wrap it up here because it's getting late in Chicago. It's getting hot in this room. These lights are crazy hot, right? Let's see what people have been saying. Rock my Herbie, my women's jeans back pocket. It peeks out a tiny bit, but it's not bad. Yeah, I've only seen this not fit in women's pants or like skinny jean guys.
It's the same, the width is the same or even a bit narrower than my other wallet. You see, it's my other one's peeking out from the back.
You flip it the other way.
So it's just a bit longer.
It's deceptive.
It's a bit longer.
It's deceptive. Here,
it's not as wide.
Spin this. Like that. It's not that much taller.
That's a really good point. It's not that much bigger of a wallet. And certainly the width is the same or less than my wallet currently. So it should fit. Unless your pocket is like a tiny pocket.
I don't know how to describe the thinness. But it tends to be a little thinner just because of the way that the cards are laid out. Yeah. So that's why I like the Herbie. Let's see what else. Everybody's talking about skinny jeans. How do I condition the wallet? Have you ever put anything on yours?
I put a little bit of Venetian cream on it. I don't think I needed it though.
Probably not. But
yeah,
it looks
I put a little bit on
Whatever
it. And my previous blue one, I had a blue version of this wallet, a blue cordovan. I put a little bit on there, but I don't think you needed it really. After the blue one I've had for 3 years, I don't think I needed anything on it. But I just put I was like, I'm gonna put a little bit on here.
Usually, most people don't need to put anything on the cordovan, especially if it's in a wallet, because the action that it has in your pocket, it's sort of always polishing on the friction and the moisture of your body.
Yeah,
it actually is always polishing it. So you can sort of get a polishing effect with just water. If you were to spray like a little bit of mist of water in here and
just a little bit, not too much, but just a little mist.
Yeah, so you shouldn't really have to do anything. The only time I suggest to people to start to condition their wallet or use a polish is when they're seeing like really deep gouges. Or actually, this one has some denim stains on it, which are actually kind of hard to see. But a little bit over here, I got a little sweaty in these 316 jeans here. Sometimes the color can come off of the denim and go on the leather. You can use a product called Renomat from Sapphire that gets that right out. It's actually a really amazing product. But also there's a Sapphire product called Cordovan Cream. We're actually sold out of it right now. I just ordered some more. That's sort of a waxy polish that's specifically made for shell cordovan. It gives it a bright, shiny look. Don't waste your money on it unless you think your leather is completely dull. I don't like to try to sell something to somebody that doesn't need it. But if you think your boots or your wallet or something's looking a little dull, try putting like less than a pea, like a quarter of a pea on the leather. Give it a light rub in like this and let it come to a haze, and then just give it a little brush. You don't need to do much more than that. In fact, start off by just trying to brush whatever leather you have now, and that should fix most problems you have. That's mostly what I do. In fact, those shell boots, these Vibergs, I haven't done anything to. And again, I've only had them for 3 months, but they look fine.
They look great.
I don't do anything to them. So you probably shouldn't have to do anything, especially if it's on a wallet. Any other questions for us? Because I got to go to the bathroom. We've drank a lot of beer. If not, I think we're going to wrap it up here. I've got
thank you guys.
Full of combs and wallets.
We've had a lot of fun tonight. It was great trying these beers. I like the other two. I'm not sure about the Oil Derrick beer, the Baltic. What's it called?
I don't remember.
Baltic Brent Light Cruise.
Well, apparently Solemn Oath is like a really good brewery.
Yeah,
and I've had great stuff from them before, so I'm kind of bummed about that. But maybe I just tried a little too hard on that one.
Yeah.
Vega V says, Phil, please keep on doing these. It's fantastic. I promise to do more. In fact, last week I had on my coworker Esteban, who is a chemistry nerd. He knows all sorts of chemistry things with leather. And we did the leather tanning last time, but not next week, but next time I do one of these, I want to have him back on, and I want to talk about retanning leather, which is much more complicated than tanning. And I think he'll be able to help people understand a little bit more about what each of these types of leathers are and start to understand the characteristics of each of them. So I will be doing more. And anything else you want to chat about? Just
thank you guys. It was a great time. And
it's kind of fun.
Yeah, check out Ashland Leather. They got a great wallet, Chicago comb, if you're ever interested in the comb.
I'd like to get Ted and Dan in here.
Yeah, we should definitely
our business partners.
Yes.
We're both duos.
Yes.
Which we have in common.
That's right.
So I like to get all us back in here before we usually have really long chats over beers anyways. So it kind of be killing two birds with one stone.
Well, thank you guys. Have a good night.
Thanks a lot, guys. Take care.